Coach, thanks for sitting down with me today. I appreciate it.
No problem, Riley. I've been waiting to get interviewed by you. It's made my day.
Yeah, I think a couple presidents feel the same way. So obviously this has been a different year than any year you've gone through in the past. What are some of the challenges of this season and this team has faced that other teams you coach haven't had to face?
Didn't have a summer. A lot of team building, a lot of habits are created, winning habits. No fall, which is really team building, where we bring them together and we start to become a team. The hardest thing was the preseason had no, quote, bye games where we could get our feet underneath us and win some games and build some confidence. But this was 10 new guys. None of them had ever played together. The only one that had played for us was Keon, and he was hurt. So when you throw that all together, and then you lose every way possible close games, like right down to the last shot, and they're all going one way. The challenge was, how do you encourage, how do you motivate, how do you stay positive, but hold guys accountable? Because if you're not gonna hold people accountable to the team, you're not coaching. And so it was like a tightrope that you're walking. I've never been through it, and I just wanted to make sure I stayed focused on the team and the players.
Speaking of holding guys accountable, how is it trying to walk the line between keeping guys accountable and making sure they're doing what's in the best interest of the team, but also not demoralizing them and keeping them where they know you still have faith in them?
The biggest thing I think you have to do is take all the excuses off the table, and you have to put it back to where this is on you to do your thing. What I did in the shooting is, if you don't shoot an open shot, I'm taking you out. Don't even care if you shoot a bad shot. If you're open, shoot it. If you're 0 for 10, it's on me because I left you in the game. Get in that gym and do it. And if you take it in that regard, you're basically saying, all right, you got to believe in you. You got to believe in your work. I always say, if you're sitting there just encouraging, and eventually they look in the mirror and they know. They know either they're cutting corners or they're not. Either they're in the gym really working or they're giving 75%. They know. To build that confidence they need that is not coming from me, you have to have that environment that says, I'm here for you. We're going to hold you accountable, but at the bottom line, this is on you to do what you do. And I think if you can, maybe I'm wrong, but I just think that in that way, it's them building their own confidence versus what you do. And then the minute you say, that's no good, now their confidence goes. You want them to build their own.
Obviously, we had some guys struggle early on this year or play well, then hit some tough times. And the team in general, we started 1-6, then won a few, lost a few. Now we're winning some more games again. We're feeling good. We've really improved. How tough was it for you to stay positive and not just say, I don't know if this team can do it?
The biggest thing when you're in this seat leading young people, it's not what you say, it's what they see. I can say all that I want to say. It's the same deal. It's what they see. That I wanted them to see that I believed in them, but I was going to hold them accountable. That I was going to challenge them and push them, but I was there for them. Whatever I was doing was for individual players to improve and a team to improve. But the biggest challenge was getting them to understand, because we had no summer, no team building fall. We weren't even allowed to go to rooms. We weren't using our locker room. To get them to understand they need each other. That winning benefits all. If you're losing, every one of you stink. If we're winning, everyone has their own star. Every fan likes this guy and I like that guy. And if you're losing, they think you all stink. So to get them to understand, you trying to do your own thing, you're killing you, but you're also hurting your teammates. And it's taken time for guys to settle in, to make this about us. And you'll find out it's easier and you're better because Players are helping you make plays. We were for a while averaging 7, 8 assists. I've never heard of that. It means everybody who got it tried to do their thing. Now you start where you're 17, 18, 19 assists. Well, why is your shooting percentage going up? Duh. It's going up because we're passing the ball to each other. How about this one, and you're in practice every day? How about just pass it for the sake of passing? Not catching and holding, I got to make my play. Just get rid of it. But it's taken time. And it's taken us taking our lumps. I keep saying adversity either builds you into something ready to go or it breaks you. The people around you understand if we're going through this together, I can deal with it. If it's me by myself, it can be overwhelming and break you. But if it's us, you only got a little piece of this. So you can carry that weight. But it's been hard. The other team, here's what I'm always asked. How do you get a bunch of All-Americans and how do you get them to play together? And then they become a great team and they all share. It takes time and it takes creating new habits. It takes them thinking in a way that they've never thought. You have to get to where they trust each other. Well, how do you get there? They get together, they hang out together, they talk, they get to know each other's family. We play some games, we have some success, we have some failure, they learn, and they trust. Well, guess what? Normally where we are right now is in early January. It happens to be in the middle of February because of all that we're dealing with.
Over the past few weeks, we've scored 80 points a few times, had 45 in the first half versus Tennessee. What caused you to change and switch up the way we're playing? And what have you thought about this new style?
Well, it wasn't just the stouts that we're passing to, but we're playing faster. So when we watched us play, I'm not saying we're not skilled. We're skilled, but we're not that some of those skill guys I've had in the past that can go create their own shot. So now you say, how do we get easy baskets? Well, you do it by playing faster and trying to create something in the first 10, 15 seconds. You do it by offensive rebounding. You do it by taking open threes. Well, how do you get open threes? You're probably not going to get them dribbling and someone's got to do something and the ball comes to you and you're open and you let it go. We also said the best way for us to play is through the post. It's who we are. Now, I have not played through that way, very many teams here, but this team, we needed to play through the post. And by doing that, we're opening up threes, we're opening up other opportunities, and we're offensive rebounding better. But you say, why? Because nothing else worked. None of it worked. So you just keep trying.
Now that Brad was supposed to have senior day the other day, I saw the video you made for him, and I want to go into coaching. Brad wants to go into coaching. What advice would you give to me and Brad about starting our careers, now that we're finishing playing?
I'll give you two things. One that Larry Brown gave me when I was your age and I started coaching. Larry Brown said to me, if you care about the players and you're authentic and you really care, you'll always have a job because they'll fight for you, they'll play for you. You'll always have a job if you care and you're authentic. John Chaney gave me this piece of advice, which has, and again, I was in my my late 20s, early 30s. And his comment to me was, if you're obsessed with anything or anyone, you lose. Do your job, coach your team. If you're obsessed and jealousy and worried about this guy and that guy and his program, we got to beat him, then you do stupid stuff. You get in trouble. When you think about what he says, if you're obsessed with anything, forget basketball, forget other people in your life, money, you're obsessed with money. And I could go on, there are other things you could be. You're obsessed with anything or anyone, you lose. Stay focused on what your job is, which is, on my wall, I have coach your team. None of the other stuff matters.
I agree. We've had some guys really improve their play this year, like just on an individual level, struggled early, but have picked it up. BJ is one of those guys. Devin's one of those guys. How has it for you as a coach been to see those guys who work extremely hard and weren't having success early on, but are now starting to turn the corner?
You have to have individual meetings with them and tell them, look, I'm with you. Now, you're not very good right now, but I know you're better than this. And I also know you're working hard. So I can put my faith in you because you're working. If I think a kid is trying to get over and never in the gym and he's running his mouth, I'm not with that guy. But when I look out my window and I see this guy and that guy, and they're working all the time, or in practice, they go crazy like Shea Alexander, and they're unbelievable, their work ethic in practice. It's easy to be with those guys because you know what, I've done this a long time, and they'll begin to change for the better. And those two have. And it's only a climb. They're not all the way there. There's things that they did in high school that they kind of think that they can get away with. You can't. So they're stepping up, they're getting better. And the biggest thing as a coach, for an individual player or your team, they have to feel success at some point because the work has to be worth it. But it doesn't happen on their terms. Oh, I went in the gym for a week and I shot and I still, well, it may take you a month. It may take you 4 months. It may take you 6 months. It may make you come back and go another year, but you'll make it if you keep working like that. The impatience of the guys, and I get it. What's at stake? I know how I grew up. I knew where I came from. And they grew up like I did. That opportunity to do that and break through and be a professional, I mean, it brings anxiety because instead of staying in the moment, you're worried about next year and the next year, and if I do this, and if I get this, and if I get drafted here, and if I get out of, well, you're not in the moment, and you're not going to be able to play good. Very hard to get people to stay in the moment. And let them know you can do less, and it's better for you. You can shoot less, and it's better for you. Ask Anthony, ask Michael. I can go right down the line. I like the fact that the last 6 games, we got 6 guys in double figures. It means they're sharing, they're passing the ball, they're trying to be there for each other. We're getting closer.
Yesterday during practice, you talked to us about Julius Randle and how happy you were for him to make his first All-Star game and how he experienced adversity and it made him stronger and made him overcome things. This team has faced a lot of adversity, had to overcome a lot. How do you think it'll affect us in the long run and these players individually?
Well, it's if they are able to get through this, and we're getting through the fog right now, and make something of this, it could be the most rewarding thing they or I have ever done. Because what we've been up against, no Kentucky experience. They came here for the Kentucky experience. Coming here to be trained in the summer, and they're coming here to be in the fall and become a team, and they know we've done this before and there's a process to it. They want to walk into Rupp Arena and see
23,000 people
all over. All of a sudden, that fan base carries us. They wanted to go on the road, and at the end of a road game here,
go
big blue, go big blue, and have half they didn't get to experience anything. All the raving fans, adoring well, they're raving, but they're not adoring now when you have this kind of, and they got to see that versus this experience. That not being able to get on a college campus, not being able to have girlfriends like normal stuff. I mean, it's been really rough, but if they get through it, I can't see of anything that they'll be up against that they'll say, phew, this ain't worse than what I went through there, and we made it, and we could do it. And for a coaching staff, I come back to it's not what I say, it's what they see. And my hope is they looked and said he never wavered. He never budged. He never cracked. Was I on officials? Did I get on players? Did I make there's unacceptable stuff? Yeah, because I won't believe this, I coach, okay? But the reality is I never budged. I always believed. I let them know as many individual meetings as I could do. to get them to understand, just keep marching, you're getting better, to let them know I care and I get it. This is hard. But I hope they see that. It's not what I say, it's what they see and how I handled this.